song, and this is trash. Fuck trash. Oh, them double entendres and all that shit on Entertainer's fucking soul. This shit was trash. They should have let Weezy Weekend up there, man. Fuck that. They should have let Drake do this. I ain't hear nobody cheering. This shit whack.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shalom and I am going to make this video short and cute like myself, and I'm going to get right into it. So a couple of days ago the Super Bowl did happen, and the Super Bowl is a massive thing, okay? Mainly in American culture, I'd say. Over here it's not really a big thing. Like, we still watch it over here in the UK, but it's not really a British thing. It's obviously more of an American thing. You know, when you guys say football, to us that's rugby, and our rugby to you is football. I know that's hella confusing, but I still did watch it. I still do watch it every year. K-Dot was performing his halftime show this year. One thing I will say, and before I get into the video, well done for Kendrick for being the first rapper out of Compton to headline basically Super Bowl, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's ever been a rapper out of Compton to have his own halftime show. So basically, what I'm going to go through how I felt, okay? Because before the Super Bowl, I went onto X and the set list was leaked. And I thought to myself, this cannot be the set list. This set list looks trash, okay? Like, I could do a better set list half awake, half asleep, okay? And then after I scroll through X, guess what I see again? The stage setup of the Super Bowl is leaked. So I'm like, what is going on? Okay, what's going on? Like, how did the set list get leaked? Like, who is, like, Kendrick, who do you have in your account that's a snake? Because how did your set list get leaked? Rihanna's didn't get leaked, Usher's didn't get leaked, but somehow Kendrick's got leaked. Like, what's going on in your team? I've watched the Super Bowl. Second time I got my reactions on camera. Third time it's just I watched it before doing this video. Oh yeah, and before I get into the performance, Kendrick's outfit was fire. Sorry, you can't tell me nothing. Like, I loved his outfit. I know a lot of men are knocking him for saying like he looked really feminine. Why is no one talking about Kendrick's outfit? The jeans, the cap. I would wear that even though I'm a girl. Like, that outfit was kind of fire. Like, let's be real. Those jeans, Kendrick's legs were legging. His legs were literally legging. They were on fire. Like, what's your leg workout? You know what I mean? They were okay. Sorry, I'll stop. My first thing I want to get into is the set list, the freaking set list, because it ended up being the leaked set list that I saw and I called trash a couple hours before was the actual set list for the Super Bowl. Before watching the Super Bowl the first time, I was like, I'm not expecting Beyonce performances because it's Kendrick. I'm not expecting anything like, you know, performance worthy. I'm expecting more of confidence, charisma, high energy. And I was kind of expecting like a lot of American imagery because, you know, everyone has kind of put Kendrick up as this like American, all black, all American kind of savior. That's what I was expecting, and it ended up being that I was right. There was the American flag and, you know, all this imagery and these symbolisms that were kind of being pushed through, which I'll get onto later again. Right, this set list is just awful. Kendrick, you've got some snakes in your team. Whoever told you that this set list was good, they are lying to your face, okay? They're taking you for a ride. It was Squabble Up, Humble, DNA, Euphoria, and I was so glad when he played Euphoria because Euphoria does not get the credit it deserves, okay? Like, Not Like Us was a great song, and I've spoken about this all over my TikTok, so follow me on TikTok. And then Man at the Garden, Peekaboo, Luther with SZA, All the Stars with SZA again, Not Like Us, and then he finished with TV Off. Like, I looked at this set list and I was just like, damn, this is the biggest performance of your career, and the only songs you're doing are the songs where you're dissing Drake. Because I know there's people who don't know Kendrick Lamar.
I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing.
Gonna assume that this is Kendrick Lamar's best music when it's not, okay? A lot of these songs that aren't that great. Kendrick's old music, he has so many great songs that would wash this set list. And even last night I made my own playlist of songs that he should have performed, and I'll link that down below because he has so many hits. He has so many nostalgic great songs. I was listening to old Kendrick, right, his old albums, and the joy and nostalgia I just felt, and I was like, you could have performed these old songs, and I would have loved to watch the Super Bowl to feel that nostalgia and that joy again. But he chose not to do that, not to have like a nostalgic and, you know, really hype up performance to diss Drake. And I think that's good. That was the downfall of this thing, is that he was so focused on dissing Drake in a lot of the songs, and Not Like Us, that it took away from Kendrick's actual music. And Kendrick's music and his catalog is too good for people to just be talking about Drake 24/7. He has songs which are so good and which are bops. Like I said, I made my own playlist on Spotify. I will put that on the screen because I think the songs that I pick are better than this set list. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but the songs that I picked in my playlist, they would watch these songs right now. Okay, a lot of these songs, I'm just like,
back in your pockets on a diet, nigga. I'm calling you Atkins.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
Listen, man, fur coat.
Something that I did notice with Kendrick's kind of performance, like I said before, I'm not expecting him to be like Beyonce. Obviously, the men in the industry, they don't have to do any of that. Kendrick, he could have just stood in the center of a stage and rapped, and his fans would still eat it up, okay? And that's just what it is for the men in the industry. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to overly perform or do much, and people will still scream and eat it up. Whereas the Beyoncés, the Nickis, the other performers, they can't get away with just standing there for 13 minutes because people will call them lazy and whatever. But what I'm saying is, I wasn't expecting to be Beyonce. I wasn't expecting him to flipping be like Shakira and doing all these things. In a lot of the songs, his energy was kind of off. Like, he wasn't giving as much kind of energy as I wanted him to do. And I felt like the performance he did of All Right at the Super Bowl, not the last one, but the one before, I believe, his energy was on point, okay? And I feel like the energy he put in that small verse of All Right was better than all of the energy he put in like this whole set list.
Put it in my town, it's on you.
She's in love with who I am. Back in high school, I used to act like a
The performance of Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, one of his worst performances of that song. And maybe it's because he had to censor himself, which everyone on Twitter was saying, oh, Kendrick can do what he wants. Because the thing is, what people are kind of making Kendrick out to be is that he's kind of like this, he's kind of like against the industry, kind of like this anti-industry black kind of savior thing. And people were saying online that, oh, when he performs Not Like Us, he's going to say the P word. He's going to, he's going to say it outright. He didn't end up saying that. Obviously, there are rules and regulations put in place and you can't say that. Even though a couple years before, if we look at the Super Bowl history, MIA performed with Madonna and Nicki, and she put her middle finger up at the camera and she was sued millions, okay? But I'm just saying, if Kendrick wanted to say the P word and stand on business, he could have, but he just didn't want to get sued. MIA, she stood on business. She just did not care and she put her middle finger up. But I feel like if Kendrick really wants to do it, he could have said it, okay? He's got enough money in the stash to pay the fine off. He should have said the P word whilst performing, because that's the best bit, bro. Like, that's the best bit of Not Like Us. Like, let's be for real. Like, you know what I mean? He should have said the P word, because like that's why that's why Not Like Us is so viral, because he openly called Drake the P word. I want to talk about SZA, okay? Because SZA came on at Luther and I was like, oh, this girl's lip syncing. Ooh, this girl is lip syncing and it don't even look good. So I feel like if you're gonna lip sync, you better practice. Your lip syncing better look flipping good. And that's one thing I had with Rihanna's performance, that she was lip syncing in certain places and it was blatantly obvious. Same thing with SZA. She was there for like not even 5 minutes, okay? I think SZA's bit was too quick. Like I didn't get to digest SZA, you know what I mean? Like she just kind of came and went. Even All the Stars, that was too quick. Like I really wanted to enjoy that song, to breathe that song, and I didn't get it. But this is really not the place to be lip syncing. Like, this is not the place to be lip syncing. Like, this is the biggest performance of your career. She's only lip syncing for I've forgotten the song, but the first song that she goes on for. And then All the Stars, she's not lip syncing. Lip syncing and all of that, that's something I would reserve for like the VMAs and the AMAs type of thing. But for the Super Bowl, you better sing live. Some of the notes that she was singing, she looked like she was struggling. But it's like, the thing was with SZA's verses and songs, like SZA songs are not hard to sing. Anyone can sing a SZA song. Anyone, like even people who are tone deaf. Sometimes I'm just like, when her face is so strained and it looks like she's struggling, I'm like, what are you struggling about? But yeah, SZA did okay. She did fine. What was the big surprise, Kendrick? Because Kendrick and all his fans were saying there's a big surprise coming at the Super Bowl. There were no surprises, okay? The only surprises there were basically Serena Williams, and I don't class that as a surprise. They announced as a big surprise. I was expecting maybe, I don't know, he was gonna bring out someone to perform with. So I thought maybe he would bring out like Rihanna. And then I thought to myself, Shalom, that's hella dumb, because Rihanna's baby dad is facing like 20 years in prison. Performing at the Super Bowl is her last priority at this point. But I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. But there was no surprise. I think the only surprise was that he brought out 2 of Drake's exes. But yeah, that was about it for the surprise. I want to actually get into the promotion before the Super Bowl, and that I think the promotion for this was arse, okay? It was absolutely crap. And I get it, some people might say, oh, he's Kendrick, he doesn't need promotion. But I think they all need promotion, no matter who you are. Even Rihanna was promoting it, okay? So if Rihanna's promoting, then Kendrick, you're gonna have to put in a little bit of elbow grease, okay? Timothy Chalamet, that was boring, okay? That was hella boring. That was like watching ice melt, okay? That interview. Why do I want to see that? I just want to get the tea, the gossip. Prior to the Super Bowl, I would have wanted to pick his brain a little bit, see what was he gonna do with this and that. I just feel like Timothy Chalamet was the wrong person to interview Kendrick, because Kendrick is so reserved and kind of like introverted, and then so is Timothy Chalamet. Like, why are you getting an introvert to interview an introvert? You always get an extrovert to interview an introvert. That is like rule number 1 of interviewing, because that's just common sense. I just feel like there were so many better options who could have interviewed Kendrick. I don't know how Timothy and Kendrick know each other. If that was their first time meeting, maybe that was why it was stale. But I think if you got someone who knew Kendrick, who was actually knowledgeable about his, not just GNX, but his old albums as well, and they could pick his brain about everything. Okay, not Timothy Chalamet. You know, he seems like a great guy, don't get me wrong. I like Dune 2, really. But apart from that, interviewing, I don't think that was the best choice. There are some tweets and some videos of people basically just standing there, some people on their phones, people aren't really cheering. The only time I've really heard the crowd cheer was when Not Like Us started, but apart from that, it was like the crowd went wild.
What are they, vegetables or fruit? And what does that make, ketchup?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Hey, funny guy! I got a joke for you! What smells rotten and puts people to sleep?
Noxious gas?
No! Your act!
Do you know why? There's 2 reasons why I think no one was paying attention and no one really knew. Because 1, I just don't think that these were the right songs. He has other songs which are more viral, which are more hype, and which would just get people up and standing. And I think a lot of the songs, especially at the first half of the performance, they weren't really to get you hyped, to get people, you know, up and standing and dancing and enjoying themselves. I would say the second half of the Super Bowl is definitely a lot better than the first half. The first half was a bit boring. It was a bit of a snooze fest, I'm not gonna lie. The second half made up for it because obviously he performed Not Like Us. A lot of Kendrick stans are saying that the meaning of the performance went over everyone's head, and they're saying, oh, look at the symbolisms, he's talking about this political idea and this political idea, and he's showing you this. And I'm gonna be that person to say it. I just don't think the people who were in attendance gave a crap. People who go to watch the halftime show, okay, because people go to watch the football or rugby, as I call it, whatever, they go to watch the football, they'll also go there for the halftime show, and they expect good entertainment. They expect something that's going to get them hyped, something that's going to be memorable, right? They expect good music, a good set list of songs, because, you know, you have to think, the people who are going there, they pay a lot of money, okay, to go to these events, to go to the Super Bowl. And on top of that, some people only go to see the halftime show and they dip. Okay, that's what a lot of people do, I've seen online. But one thing is that people just come there to be entertained. A lot of people don't care about the symbolisms, about history, about all of that. Because if people want to see that, they'll just Google something on YouTube. They'll open up a book, okay? A lot of people who are in attendance, the videos I've seen circulating, a lot of people were drinking, they were smoking, they were looking like they were probably high off their head, okay? So if you're drunk, if you are high in the sky, okay, if you are vaping or you're doing all 3, okay, as I saw in some videos, you're not going to be able to understand the symbolisms that are being thrown in your face. You're not going to be searching for these symbolisms and all these ideas and all these double entendres and metaphors, because you're drunk, you're high, you can't even do that. Even people who are sober didn't even know what was going on. People were confused. They were like, oh, what does this mean? And one thing I noticed with Kendrick kind of stans who were Drake stans but moved over, is that when you say you don't like a Kendrick song, or maybe you're not fond of like a visualizer or a music video, they're normally like, oh, it's because you're so slow, or you haven't really thought about it, look at the meaning, like really look at it, you know what I mean? Like, look at the visualizers. It's like, no, not everyone has to like a Kendrick song, not everyone has to like a Kendrick visualizer, and it doesn't mean that person's slow. Like, a lot of people are saying, oh, the symbolism, but at the same time, the people are saying that, they're confused themselves. I feel like a lot of people just go to the Super Bowl to be entertained. They just don't care. So if myself as a sober person watching was I wouldn't even really know. Like some things I was like, okay, I get that and I get that, but I'd say about majority of it, I was just like, I don't know what's really going on. Some of it I did understand, and I get it. Some people might be my comments and say, well, you're British, so you're not gonna get it. But it's like American people, all right, they're saying the same thing. Like they don't really know what was going on. Like they understood some bits, but overall they're just like, you know, some bits they were just a bit meh on. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did like Samuel L. Jackson as the Uncle Sam. I did really like that. I like the way that he was flowing with the set list and certain bits. Like some areas I didn't expect him to kind of speak, but he was speaking, and I kind of like that. Was this the worst halftime show I've ever seen? No. Was it the best? No. I think a lot of people are just kidding themselves, and they just, I don't know if it's that they don't like Drake, but that's just one thing I really did hate, is that everything was just focused on Drake when it should have been about Kendrick. Like this is the biggest moment in his career, and it was just about Not Like Us and Drake. Like this shouldn't have like the Not Like Us kind of thing. And I get it, you have to perform that song because that's what everyone knows you for now. And to be honest, if I was Kendrick, I would be kissing the ground that Drake walks on. I'll be thanking him every day and night. I'll be praying on my knees, thanking God that for Drake, that giving me that much hate and having that much hate that can write a diss track. Because before this whole Not Like Us thing, people, like, obviously he had hits, but he was not as popping with the general public as he is now. Without the Not Like Us, okay, he wouldn't even got this slot. What I find weird about Kendrick is that his biggest moment in his career is now always about Drake. Like his career is always going to be forever linked to Drake. Usher's was a lot better. Even Rihanna's was better. Like even Rihanna, like she was lip syncing for like 80% of the time. She was like 8 months pregnant. She looked like she didn't even know what she was doing at most times, and she looked like she was wondering what to have for dinner. But even I'll put her performance above Kendrick, to be honest. And even when I watch the Super Bowl, that's what I just come for. I just come for entertainment, good vibes. I want to be dancing in my bed. Our first half of the performance kind of left everyone a bit bored, and by the time it got to the really good songs, like I feel like everyone was just kind of like but I know there's some people who are saying they love it, but for me it was just okay. It wasn't horrifically terrible, but I just wish that Kendrick focused on other songs apart from Not Like Us.
Six months ago with a whole nother demographic, you know, of people listening to my music. Definitely going to capitalize off that. Shout out to Drake, you know.
He reached out. How did that happen?